All right, good morning. Thank you for creating time for us. I'm Linda Gutu. The Jubilee Party will this morning table bills seeking to make radical changes to the electoral laws ahead of the October 26th repeat election. The ruling party yesterday used its numerical advantage in the National Assembly to push for the first reading of the bills amidst protests from NASA MPs. The House will also establish an interim committee to handle the legislative process of making the changes to the Elections Act. The NASA MPs walked out of the chambers last evening protesting the changes which they say were done in, quote, bad faith.
We have two important business, Mr. Speaker, among many others. One is just the ad hoc committee that will look at the budget, supplementary budget estimates 2017-2018, and without anticipating debate, also we intend to introduce the election laws amendment bill tomorrow, and also form, if the House agrees, form an ad hoc committee to look into that.
Leader of majority, the Honorable Member of Garissa Town, we want to move together as a house. We want to move together as one Kenya. We don't want to increase the temperatures in this country, Mr. Speaker. And when we see such bills coming now, or such whatever motions coming now, I do understand, in line with Article 118, we need that public participation. But for heaven's sake, please, I oppose this. We wait till maybe after presidential elections have been done. We've known who is going to be the right person to be elected as the president of this country, so that we move together as a team. But for now, it's a suspect, Mr. Speaker, because the Jubilee side, Mr. Speaker, have been meeting, and they threatened the Supreme Court. So many threats, Mr. Speaker. This is not going to be moved in a good faith, Mr. Speaker. So my humble request, Mr. Speaker, we allow members to debate about this. This is a house of debate, Mr. Speaker. We don't want just to come here and just rubber stamp the issues. So the Honorable Member for Garissa, as a leader, you must provide proper direction not to divide this country. I oppose, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand to support the motion, Mr. Speaker, that we sit tomorrow morning, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Wamalwa referred to the Supreme Court ruling, and it is very clear that the Supreme Court, Mr. Speaker, ruled that there is need for an election within the 60 days. And IPC, they have already indicated that on 26th of next month, we need to have an election. So, Mr. Speaker, the sitting of tomorrow is very important because we want to put some measures in place, including even discussing some supplementary budget in order to fund that the coming election, Mr. Speaker. So it is very important, Mr. Speaker. And again, Mr. Speaker, we cannot be held ransom because they are still dwelling on the Supreme Court and what and what. Already the Supreme Court, they have pronounced themselves. IBC, they have announced their date. We are very sure that on 26th of next month, election will be there and Uhuru Kenyatta will be chosen as the President of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker.
I rise to oppose the motion on the following ground: that with strict listening to the judgment of the Supreme Court, it ordered the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission to conduct the repeat election in compliance with the law. I do not remember hearing anywhere they said we need to change the law, so I do not really, I would imagine the election date of 26th was set in compliance with existing law. We feel that the so-called amendments to the law are suspicious, they are mischievous, and they are generally meant to divide this country further than it is as it stands now.